Now, a lot of us know something about the Columbian Exchange when Christopher Columbus touched off the first lasting connection between the Americas and the Old World. But I want to talk about a little tiny story as a result of the Columbian Exchange about an artist named Albrecht Dürer that you may not know. Dürer was the quintessential Renaissance man. He was one of the most technically skilled artists, engravers, painters, woodcutters in all of Europe, and he was at the height of his technical skills when in 1520 he visited Brussels. In 1520, the Low Countries, in which Brussels was a capital, was part of the Spanish Empire, and on display in Brussels were a bunch of treasures plundered from the New World, from the Cortez expedition, specifically from Mexico. Dürer wrote about the marvels that he saw, and in particular, he described two large discs, a silver disc and a gold disc, that were inscribed with the Aztec calendar. And in his journal, he recorded his response to seeing these beautiful pieces of Aztec art. He said, "I have never in my life seen anything that gave my heart such delight as these things, for I saw among them marvelously skillful objects, and was amazed at the subtle ingeniousness of people in foreign lands. I cannot find words to describe all those things I find here." What is so astonishing to me about this description and the reaction from Dürer's journal is that this is the reaction of a man who is completely gobsmacked by the detail, the fineness of the craft, and the creativity and the imagination of people across the ocean that Europeans, really, except for the exception of some Vikings and other people, they might not have even really known had existed a few years before this. Dürer looked on at this art, and it opened up new horizons. It allowed him to see that there were whole universes of creativity and thought that he had never imagined. And this was the guy who was maybe technically the most skilled in all of Europe at this time. Now, it's impossible to completely compartmentalize and try to brush aside all of the death and destruction that was attendant to the Columbian Exchange, and even all the cultural appropriation that happened as a result of the Columbian Exchange. But I still think it's worth salvaging this sort of fleeting moment of inspiration that Dürer described in his journal. If you're like me and you're taken with this story of Dürer's moment of discovery from 1520, then you may want to check out the book where I found it, which is Edward Wilson Lee's excellent book, The Catalog of Shipwrecked Books. We'll be right back.